Hi Al, it's Uncle Lair. I apologize for taking so long to get back to you, and there's so much I want to say about your video, or excuse me, about your picture, that I figure I would send you a video because it would be just a lot simpler for me to convey the message to you. If it was a text, I would be typing forever. If it was a phone call, I wouldn't have the available visuals to share with you. So I just figured I'd give you a quick video update on my thoughts regarding your beautiful piece. I just really love it, and I'm going to try to keep it as brief as I possibly can because I know that large videos are sometimes problematic to send. So I hope when I hold this up I can kind of point to it and reference for you, and then that'll be a good way for you to make some adaptations and changes and whatnot. And by the way, I'm sitting in your chair that you guys gave to me, and I'm in my studio, so can't wait for another studio Saturday when all this craziness is over with. This is what I do with my school kids all day long. I just film these videos and upload them to Google Classroom, and it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work too. But I'm getting used to it. So anyways, oops, my phone's getting low on battery. I think we should be okay. So first of all, I love the whole concept. My favorite part is the center of the tree where you've got the little library in there with the rocking chair and the books and the sliding ladder that goes back and forth. And this is just very well put together. I love the whole theme, the concept, and I'm very proud of you. As far as making suggestions, I have a few just to help you fine-tune some details perhaps, and maybe get it a little more to your liking. I'm no tree drawing expert. I do draw them at times with my school kids, and I draw them as a part of a 2-point perspective assignment where we draw a house, and then all around the house the kids have an assignment to add certain details, and one of the details is always a tree. So let me refer to one of these pictures, okay, and this is far from being anything complete or done, but this is one of the sketches that I keep in a file folder and I refer to it as need be. But as you can see, we do mess around with some trees, and I might give them a little lesson on how to go about putting the tree together. Okay, so one of the recommendations I had for you, and I'm looking at a little cheat sheet here because I wrote down some notes for myself, but one of my recommendations would be to add what we kind of call texture lines, these little squiggly striations on the trunk of the tree, and it indicates all the inner workings of tree bark and whatnot. So I would say if you want to add some of those squiggly striations to the tree trunks and some of the larger branches, that would be a really nice thing to do. And it looks like you actually started some of those on your own. I would just continue them, and it might be a pain in the rear for you, but I would actually put them on every single tree if you can, because I think it's a really cool effect. Okay, and along those same lines, no pun intended, haha, I would say pick a dark side for your trees. Pick a side where the sunlight will not be. Okay, for example, here's my light source here, and it's kind of shining on this side of the tree. Therefore, the opposite side of the tree is the dark and shadowy side. Okay, so let me come back to your project here. All right, so I would pick, it looks like you've got some highlights on this side of the tree. So maybe this side of the forest would be the shadowy side. So you could darken this side of this tree and darken the same sides of the remaining trees. And when you get to a tree branch, you kind of darken the underneath, okay, with some shadowing. So I would pick a dark side of the tree, and then, oops, that's a text from my brother-in-law, Bill Supa. He's a character. Again, I don't know what I was saying. Pick a dark side of the tree, and then the underneath of the tree branches can be darker. Kind of like you have over here. This one looks real nice. You have a shadowy side on the bottom of the tree branches. Okay, and then I sometimes tell the kids, when you're working on those squiggly striations on the tree bark and on the tree trunks, around the tree branches, we always say that the tree branch emerges from what we kind of call growth rings. So let me see if I can give you an example here, back to this reference photo. So where this tree branch emerges, there's kind of like some C-shaped or backwards C-shaped growth rings. So you could add a few of those as you continue on with your detailing. Okay? Let's see what else I have written down here. Okay, I have in the roots, I would darken the area between the roots. So let me reference yours. So in these triangular shapes, I would make it a little darker and shadowy inside there. That'll help give a little more realism and perspective to your drawing. Okay? Here's another thing. I would draw somewhere what I would refer to as kind of like a horizon line. Okay, so back to this. This is my horizon line here down the center. Okay, right about here where my finger is. Okay, and it matches up to the other side. So your horizon line essentially will separate your art piece into two main areas, your background and your foreground. Okay, so maybe somewhere, I'm not exactly sure where you would put it, but somewhere in your drawing, if you could indicate some kind of a line, just one simple line, and of course it would go behind the trees and in between the trees, wherever you decide to put it, but just one simple line will give you that feeling of space, okay? And that'll automatically section your drawing off in those two sections, like I said, background and foreground. Now, with regard to the background, and I honestly can't tell you because of my color deficiency, but it looks like to me that the color back here matches the color here. Like I said, I don't know for sure, but it looks the same to me. But anyways, here's what I would do. Okay, when you get that line in there, I might slightly darken the color in the background, and that'll give it the effect that the area behind the tree is a little deeper into the forest. Okay, so if you darken some of the background, and you don't have to change the color itself, just darken the shade, darken the hue, take the same color and just dull it down and darken it down is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's see what else I have here. The last thing I have here is put some cast shadows in and around your objects. For example, these rocks really, really cool. The bushes in the forest, awesome job. What you can do is you can put what we call cast shadows behind the object. So here's a cast shadow behind the tree, and I don't have any rocks, but I could put one in real quick. Give me a moment. Okay, so I'm just going to draw kind of like a blob in here. That'll be a rock. Okay. All right. So I want to put my cast shadow on the same side as where the tree's cast shadow is. Okay. So and maybe I'll do it a little more to the front because it's in front of the house, and it's not catching the light at the same angle that the tree is. But I think you'll get the idea. And what I tell my school kids is, okay, so like I put a little cast shadow next to the rock, and what I tell my school kids is this: the cast shadow will be darkest closest to the object, and then it will kind of fade and get a little softer as it gets farther away from the object. Okay, so there's my rock, and the cast shadow is darkest closest to the object, and then it kind of just fades away into nothingness. So I sometimes tell them to kind of like take their finger and just, kind of fade it away, and it'll just, dissipate and go away. So that's what I have for now. I hope those are some good suggestions to lead you closer to you being more satisfied with the piece. And remember, we artists are our own worst critics. So don't be so hard on yourself, because truly, Al, I love it, and I'm not just saying that. It's really fantastic. It just has this like whimsical fantasy type feel to it that, if that's a picture from a story in a book, and that's the first thing I see, I'm totally wanting to turn the page and read the story. The picture kind of draws you in. So dude, I'm really proud of you. I love it. If there's anything else I can do, let me know. And now I have to figure out how to get you this almost 15-minute video. So love you, proud of you. Sorry it took me a couple days to get back to you. I wasn't in the hospital, but I had a procedure done on Friday, and it was a little more in-depth than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be just kind of like this in and out thing, and it was actually it was like, I don't want to say like minor surgery, but it was they had to run this tube down my throat, so I was knocked out for a couple hours. So it took me a little while to recover and feel like myself again. So hope all is well, and give your mom and dad and sister my love, and when this is all over, we'll get back together here in LKSA for a studio Saturday. Okay, buddy. Love you. I hope I can get this video to you. Take care now. Bye-bye.